going, right?
So, we were talking with Princess Leia coming in the power of the Scream movies, and you and I are discussing while Jenny Ortega is fantastic. You and I both discussed both the power of Neve Campbell and Drew Barrymore back in the day. But I can
Yeah.
tell you, the single greatest shot as a person that's never directed one moment of film. I can tell you the proof of the single greatest shot ever in television history was in I Know What You Did Last Summer when Jennifer Love Hewitt is
Yeah.
upset and she's spinning around going, "What do you want?" What that was beautiful. At that moment, it was a
Yeah.
party of one. Well, actually two. You know what I'm saying, my friend? Yes,
Yes. Yes, and it should have won all of the awards.
yes. The
All
best.
of the
I was not a
awards.
huge Party of Five fan, but one thing that I did notice on Party of Five, and I give them credit
Mhm.
because she was supposed to be Jennifer, who is gorgeous, right? When Party of Five first started, she was supposed to be because the heartthrob of that show was supposed to be from the females. It was supposed to be Nev Campbell,
Yeah.
but and so when the show first started, Jennifer Love Hewitt, very sweet, young, was supposed to be like the girl next door,
Yeah.
and then time. And
Yeah.
they kept trying to downplay how gorgeous she is, as well as other
Mhm.
things emerging, literally.
Mhm.
And it got harder and harder to do that. My personal favorite, though, is have you ever seen the movie Jungle Fever with Wesley Snipes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, Halle Berry's supposed to be a crackhead in that movie.
Yeah.
And even as a junkie, and by the way, do you remember who her partner slash boyfriend in the movie is?
Oh, man, we're going back a few decades. I do
Yes,
not.
do you know this movie, sir? Or I'm sorry, I'm not Jungle Fever, Mo Better Blues. No, it is Jungle. Hang on, I'm trying to remember. See, now you got me jacked up. It was Mo Better Blues, not Jungle Fever.
Okay, another great
But
movie.
in Mo Better Blues, also with Wesley Snipes, with you had the wonderful Jennifer Love, you're not gonna be doing Halle Berry supposed to be a junkie, but her
Mhm.
partner was played by the one, the only, the Godfather of our show, Uncle Samuel L. Jackson. So
Yeah, and there it is. And I'm gonna guess he will come up again in today's episode,
wonderful,
probably at
wonderful,
least once or twice.
wonderful. That long tandem say, even as a drug addict, they could not make Halle Berry look less
Yeah.
attractive. Boomerang, she's supposed to be again the plain Jane, the Robin Givens bombshell. That didn't work.
Nope.
And Monsters Ball. Then we'll get started with our show.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Monsters Ball with her and
I
Billy Bob
have. I
Thornton?
have. Yeah.
Made me feel good. By the way, she did the actor studio before the host passed
Uh huh.
away, and she talked about of all the lines and all the movies she's done. She goes, the thing that people would just run up just unprovoked, and she would hear this out in the public. She's going, I'm going to get coffee and walk through an airport, this whatever. People just run up and scream, make me feel good, which is her love scene with Billy Bob. And last thing, again, I love my silly movie facts. Billy Bob Thornton not only was in that movie, and if you've never seen the movie Monsters Ball, Halle Berry, famous, had never done a nude scene.
Hmm.
Then when she was in Swordfish with our
Yeah.
boy Hugh Jackman,
It's a
she actually
big
got
thing.
paid an extra $1 million for a nude scene, and she
Yeah, for the
said she basically
contest.
got paid $500,000 per breast to
Yep.
go
Per
topless.
boob.
And then a very little known movie that she wanted to win an Oscar for, called Monsters Ball, that also had Heath Ledger, R.I.P.
Hmm.
in it. Great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
She is topless in that and does a much more robust love scene, if you will, with
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton. And this is where this part comes. He's the director of the movie, and there's a famous interview on the Actors Studio where Halle Berry kept hearing Billy Bob Thornton, where she's basically naked,
Hmm.
him calling cut and said they had to redo the scene. She goes, "That is your last cut, Billy Bob." Because they were having to restart all over again with them making out, him rolling all over her
Yeah.
naked body. And so at some point she goes, I think he's beginning to enjoy this a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was your last cut. So if you don't get it this time, whatever you got is what you got. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
know what? Good for her. Which you know what? You know who would make a good replacement for Halle Berry? Storm. Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Yeah.
I love having a senior, not that she's ancient, but having an older, again, there's nothing that says she has both in the
Oh,
comics
she could definitely pull it off again.
and be
I
the
bet she
leader
will in
and be
Deadpool
the
3.
leader and be the leader.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Cyclops.
Yeah.
It should not be Logan.
No.
It should be.
But
I would love this would be Halle Berry, but I want Mohawk Halle Berry. I mean Mohawk
agree.
Storm.
Married to Logan, married to Wolverine. We
Married to Logan,
need that.
yes.
We
Since
need
they're
that.
not going to give us, since they won't be able to give us, unfortunately, an RP to Chadwick Boseman, they're going to give us
Yeah.
the Black Panther,
Exactly.
unless, and I think I said this in a previous podcast, unless they go straight strong and give us M'Baku and Storm, which
That'd
I
be
think
cool.
that would be fun. I think that
That
would
would
be a
be
fun
fun.
pairing. But with
Awesome.
that being said, sir, let's kick us off like we actually started the show, my friend. So let's
Sounds
do it.
good. Are you ready?
Play that funky.
Welcome to the Fandemic. This is a Facebook and YouTube live podcast, a show that celebrates all the things that we feel are awesome in hopes of spreading, because I can't read today, our fandom to you.
Speak good.
I know speak good. After the live show airs, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple, and anywhere you get your audio podcasts. In the show, we dive deep into the heart of fandoms and celebrate the things we love, from sci-fi to fantasy, movies to TV shows, comics to video games. We explore the universes that have captured our imaginations and made us lifelong fans. Each week, we'll take you on a journey through the realms of awesomeness. Expect passionate discussions, in-depth analyses, things under the bed, many side quests. So whether you're a die-hard enthusiast or just dipping your toes in the fandom waters, the Fandemic is the place to be. I'm your host, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and with me every week is the unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache, the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples, the unverified twin of Dave Batista in the head wrinkles, and the unverified twin of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the eyebrows. Most of them are important this week.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian S. Dennis. With this week, the S stands for Zeus.
As it should.
As it should. And we're going to hit that probably really early in the podcast. But yes, I got to say, if it comes down to it, there was a great way to send off that season and a great way to send off that particular actor. All right.
Yes. And we did a whole episode on Lance Reddick.
Yes.
And you know what?
He gave me all the feels this week when I saw that.
100%. So here's what we're going to do today. Today we got our favorites of the week. We got a wrestling recap with Brian. We have Flash fun facts. And we are going to do our what?
We're going to Fancast Flash Revenge Flash Gordon's. We both got a couple takes on Flash. As he is the savior of the universe.
Yes, we got an honest ad, and I got a game to play with Brian. He's gonna get to name that movie.
Now, if you're gonna say you gotta play a game, you gotta give it to your best. Give me your best your best Jigsaw voice.
I could probably do it since I got a cold on my.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
Yeah. All right, so it's like, do you want to play a game?
That was pretty good, and you did it without needing brain cancer. So look at
you.
Right,
exactly. All right, so before we get going,
and I will take you over Costas Mandalore any day of the week, my friend.
Yeah. All right, we are going to go over our favorites of the week.
Yes, sir.
So, Brian, what were your favorites of the week?
All right. So my favorite, starting off with my movie of the week, and this is what I kind of slid on the radar. I actually found it because Amazon suggested it. Mm-hmm. It's a movie called Role Play, and I don't know if you've seen it, but it actually stars our boy David Olewoyo from Bass Reeves,
Mhm.
as well as Kaylee Kuko from The Big Bang Theory. And without getting too much into spoilers, it's kind of we see a lot of these movies anymore. It's going to
Mhm.
play into like one of my shows of the week as well. But this idea that she is an undercover, basically it's True Lies, but they flip the gender dynamics.
Oh,
But
okay.
she
That's
is
fair.
actually but nothing as save the world as she's a secret agent. She's an assassin. She's a black ops assassin. And
I
so
buy it.
so that actually that makes so much of her life with Leonard and Sheldon make more sense.
Yeah.
And then David plays her very loving husband. And what winds up happening is due to, and this is as far as I'll get into it, is she actually, due to her life
Mhm.
as an assassin, an international assassin, with that, she basically does something that you should never do when you're in a committed relationship. She forgets their anniversary. So her husband, basically to try and spice things up, brings in a naughty nurse outfit. So for a
Yeah.
moment, it looks like we're going to see Kaylee Kuko as a naughty nurse.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
We don't.
Yeah.
Bad writers.
Bad writers, bad writers. You should be on strike. You suck. Okay, but what does happen is through the mechanism of plot. And I don't want to give too many spoilers because it is worth a watch. They basically and it's almost like if you ever seen Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey. It's very much some data in their attempts to spice up their marriage life and just have a fun night out that runs into accidentally her work as an assassin, and the two of them have to manage that. So role play. It's a decent movie. It's a good thing to cut on if you don't want to think too hard. Be entertained. Good action. It's pretty funny. Yeah, too. It's very interesting to hear him without that kind of gruff,
Mhm.
fast reads, and he also plays just very kind, very loving, doting husband,
Mhm.
which is so different than the dude that couldn't wait to shoot you in Bass Reeves. So with that
Yeah.
being said, on our what are our scales again? I'm giving again. I think it's the
Yep.
I think
So
it's
we
I'll be back. Is that what 3 is?
Yep, so we have an You Shall Not Pass is a 1 out of 5.
It's better than
2 out
that.
of 5 is a Are You Not
I
Entertained?
was entertained.
The number 3 is an I'll Be Back.
I'll be back.
A
You
4
know
would be
what?
a May the Force,
Be
and
with you.
5.
No, I am your father. This one is straight up. And again, just to throw them out there with Carl Weathers, I'm making it to the chopper.
All right. Excellent, excellent. Back to the I'll Be Back. All right. Good to the chopper. Cool.
I
All
got a
right.
couple shows of the week.
Yes, do it.
I'll talk about the one I think we both probably have thought were really
Mhm.
awesome. Again, on the same vein as role play, Mr. and Mrs. Smith debuted on Amazon Prime, starring Donald Glover as Mr. Smith or John Smith. I don't know, Brad. Did you ever watch the movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina
Mhm.
Jolie, or as Jennifer Aniston would say, the movie that broke up my marriage? Uh, have you?
Yeah.
So the Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie was not bad at all. It's again one of those movies
Yeah.
that's fun, kind of cool to watch. Doesn't make you think too hard. But then Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the current series, which again is on Amazon Prime. So with that, you basically have that stars Donald Glover, who is a fantastic actor, and along with that, along with Maya Erskine, who
Mm.
was on, I'm gonna say it the way it's P951
Pen
is,
15.
yeah, thank you. Pen
There
15.
goes your
There we
Pen
go. Thank you,
15.
sir.
Yeah.
I was throwing in our area code. They play John and James Smith.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. I've got to about
Have
halfway
not.
through the season. Number one, the premise is really good because it basically takes you from recruitment to how they come in as the Smiths. It actually very similar to Beekeeper,
Oh, nice.
expands on the universe of the Smiths.
Mhm.
And also about every episode has like really well-known guest stars
Oh, good, 'cause it's
that
not Parker
that are very
Posey.
central to the plot and a great one. And I won't spoil it too much, but one of the big things that comes up is Ron Perlman in the fourth episode is basically, man, most of the episodes are them on a mission
Yeah.
and then basically trying to either get intel or really some maybe get interrogate people. But on one mission, they're actually sent to protect someone, and the person that they are sent to protect is Ron Perlman. At least a character played by Ron Perlman. my favorite Hellboy. All respect to David Harbour, but the
Right.
Hellboy in my heart. But the best part is they tie every episode to something that would happen like a real relationship.
Mm.
So because Perlman is this rich, entitled, bratty adult, they almost have like this parental child relationship when they're trying to keep him alive, and
Yeah.
their default parenting styles come out when trying to protect this grown ass man who's older than both of them. So you
That's
got to see
awesome.
which one be more the disciplinarian, which one's a little
More comforting and
more
whatnot.
confident,
Yeah.
supporting,
Yeah.
and just those such as, and this is a bit of a spoiler. At one point, they really Perlman's character gets sick, and nothing major, but they need to give
Mm.
him basically some medicine. And again, this is a grown man laying on the couch, refusing to take his med because no grown men, Brad, ever we don't
Right.
feel well act childish, right? That's not a thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay?
a man cold is
Yeah,
the
a
equivalent to
man cold
giving birth.
is truthfully worse than
Right.
anything ever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's basically laying on the couch, he's gonna take his medicine, and you see both of them in a very what you would see between two parents, different approach trying to get him to take his medicine. When he's sitting on the couch, literally going, it's fantastic.
That's
So I'm
awesome.
gonna give Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm gonna give them the number 4 on the Yoda scale.
Nice. And may the
May the
force
force
be
be
with
with you.
you.
Through the first 4 episodes, it is funny. It also has really good action. It has some dramatic, and they really show. And I think, and the funny part is, Brad and Julie has became a couple, but between Maya Erskine and Donald Glover, you get to see what feels more like a legit couple relationship developing because it happens over episodes instead of
Mm.
one movie. Does that make
Nice.
sense? So yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
worth a watch. It's worth a watch. And then my last one is the season finale of Percy Jackson
Yes.
and the Olympians. And as you said it before, this is why the S this week stands for Zeus. We get Percy, we get him taking on Ares, we get him doing all the things. If you know the movies, nothing about the season would have surprised you if you've seen the first movie, much less read the books. But the way in which it occurred, the way in which they do the reveals is fantastic. And when we get the spot of Zeus, which is played by our friend, RIP to one of the greats, Mr. Lance
Lance
Erskine.
Reddick.
I mean Lance Erskine. Do it
Reddick.
again for him, sir.
Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick as Zeus. And honestly, watching it, he looked not like he felt the greatest. With that, definitely looked like he definitely was not the Lance Reddick we're used to, let's say, in the John Wick films.
Yeah.
But was fantastic. He had that commanding voice.
100%.
And then it was fantastic. And we saw a wonderful way of going from season 1, it's going to be season 2. And I got to say, watching this before we get to our scales, number one, I can't wait to see the reveal to talk about the real big bad. But I'm so excited. Hopefully, we continue to get more Ares played by Edge, aka
Yes.
Adam Copeland. I should say this Adam Copeland, aka Edge, in season 2 because Ares should, and I think will be in the second season. So your thoughts?
Has to. He has to.
Your thoughts on this and just your overall best of the week, sir.
Man, so yeah, Percy Jackson was fantastic. My TV shows of the week was Percy Jackson, Traitors. I don't know if you're watching.
Catch up. I've caught the first few episodes, but I gotta catch up.
Oh, okay. So good. I love that show so much. You know me and my trashy reality shows. And then I started watching Warrior Nun.
Yes,
I had never watched it before.
Did you see? Okay, so Warrior Nun is really good. Did you also catch gosh darn it, the Natasha Lyonne one also on Peacock, the Liar
Poker Face.
Poker Face, thank you.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet either, but that's on my radar.
Those are great to watch. Yeah. I hate to say I would bookend those because not that they cross over, they don't, but they have such very similar feels to me. Both of those are great.
Awesome. And then, dude, I gotta shout out a couple of comic books. I'm gonna release a Fandemically reviewed here this week.
Okay.
When my voice is a little better, but Duke and Cobra Commander #1, dude. This is comic book perfection.
Now, I got a question before you get into it. I want to get into it, but I want to clarify. So in Duke Cobra Commander 1, is this more of an
these are two separate. Two separate
Oh,
books.
they're separate. Okay.
Duke #1 and Cobra
Cobra
Commander
Commander
number
number
one.
one. My fault. Are
Yeah.
these more offshoots from the Hasbro 80s comic? Is this completely separate canon? Help me with this a little bit.
So this is a brand new canon from Image Comics. Both are written by Joshua Williamson.
No,
And
his
Joshua
work. Yep.
Williamson, he gave new life to the Flash.
Yep.
He's done. I mean, he's like the it guy for DC
Absolutely.
Comics
Absolutely.
right
Hot
now.
writer right
He's
now.
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. And well, dude, like Duke, 100% feels like this super spy, Winter Soldiery type
As he
story.
should. As he should.
And it's awesome. And it will okay. And I'm gonna say this: the universe that they're building is called the Energon universe.
See the eyes, right?
I saw the eyes.
And you know how much we both loved the most recent Transformers movie. And if you haven't seen that, it's on Peacock. It's worth a watch.
Prime.
Yep. Yeah. And Prime. Yep.
And dude, Cobra Commander is a straight up sci-fi horror book.
Is it an origin story or he is?
It is an origin story.
Okay.
Per se. I mean, the Cobra laws in there and everything.
Okay.
And
I like to say Cobra. La 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 la.
Yeah. But man, like, I mean, I'm gonna bring them for you, either that or you just go get them. But
I'm definitely gonna give those some reads. That's exciting.
I'm gonna go back and get Duke. There's 4 issues of Duke out right now, and I'll get them.
And to clarify, they're separate books. One is Duke, one is Cobra Commander. Correct?
Yeah. So like, that's the cover for Duke.
Oh, dude.
And, here's some of the. That's one of
Look
the
at the
panels.
artwork, though.
Yeah. Oh, dude, wait till you see this.
Is that Starscream?
That's Starscream. Yeah,
bro. Okay, you can take all my money at this point. That looks amazing.
Oh, and then there's this. Yeah,
I love the sleek, cool Cobra Commander because that lends to him being snively and manipulative. Like So okay, here's our quick tangent. Outside of Cobra Commander, who is your favorite member of Cobra?
Destro.
Yes.
Man, like it. And I won't spill. Well, actually, I will because I spoil it in my review on Pandemic Reviewed. I'll get it out this week, and so you can listen to it. But Destro's in Duke.
Good. The other one,
yeah.
So I would co-sign on you. The only one that maybe could up there is I always had a soft spot for Zartan and a Dreadnought. So Zartan
that was going to be.
Zartan
was there. It's either good. I was going to say the Evil Twins because I can never remember their names.
Those are. This is so sad. Zavon and Tomax, and their names are backwards, so they're mirror images of each other. Okay, last one. Who was your? Because we both are about the same age. Who was your GI Joe crush? Like, or Cobra? Remember, GI Joe or Cobra? Who was your crush? If they were real,
you got Scarlet or you had the Lion or
Baroness.
Baroness.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, so for me it was Baroness.
Okay, Scarlet. I love me a redhead, but I gotta go also. Something about Lady J. Something about Lady J. Something about Lady J.
Lady J,
And they played it the whole deal that Lady J and Destro are related, which they never gave us in the comics. They just said that Destro and Lady J had a common ancestor in one episode, and it looked like that was going to be like a future storyline, and it never happened in the show anyway. But no, Duke #1, Cobra Commander #1, absolutely, I will get my hands on those. Yes, sir.
Yes. And then for movies, I did see Argyle, and I got a review. I'm gonna do a Fandemically reviewed.
It should have been good given the cast. I hope it was.
So.
And I know you're going to review it, so I want to
so here's what I'll say is it was a little bit of everything, but it was 100% entertainment. Like it was a romantic comedy. Even it had plot holes and everything like that, but there was so many twists in it. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It didn't take itself serious, and I was entertained. What more do I want from an action movie like that?
Absolutely.
So. Definitely go see it, and we're gonna go see Dune this weekend, and then we got there's a bit. Madam Web is coming up here in about a week.
I think on Valentine's,
on the 14th. Yeah, so
They're putting
uh,
Madam Web against One Love. That is not a good. That's not going to fare well for Madam Web. It's not.
no, it's
It's
not because
not
One
for adults
Love
anyway. Not
is
for adults.
probably going to be the movie of the year.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
given anything from the trailers and some of the early reviews of it.
Mhm.
You're right. We're talking Oscar worthy stuff. I don't know the
Yeah,
name of the actor who plays Marley. Gives you all the Marley vibes of it.
yeah,
And no, if you know anything about the story, it's one of those stories that has got a lot. Is a deeper story than many would think.
yeah,
And again, I don't know who over at Sony thought, hey, let's release this movie about a very, very fringe Marvel character. And I hate
yeah.
to swap anybody. Spider-Man will not be in Madam Web. If he
No,
was going to be in Madam Web, there'd have been leaks of that. Spider-Man is not going to be in Madam Web.
apparently it
So
takes place in Andrew Garfield's
goes,
world.
yep, yep. I mean, and this is no shade to Spider-Woman and all the characters.
Right.
I think it'd been fine to have Madam Web drop, but not against. And by the way, typically movies that drop in January and February are the low
Yeah.
movie months because summer movies used to be actually held back till the summer. Now summer movies come out late March, early April.
Mhm.
So we're starting to have that. So that used to be building up to Will Smith season or
Yeah.
Marvel season. So again, basically January, February, and then September, October are those kind of lows that you get movies that are really more for the critically acclaimed, try and get for Oscar
Yep.
nominated, or movies they thought weren't going to do well, so they put them out when there's not as much competition. Madam Well picked a horrible weekend to be released.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about that when it comes out. We'll definitely give that a
Yes,
go.
yes. All right, my
So,
friend.
Brian, you had a chance to listen to Fantemically Reviewed. I got 2 episodes out. I got
Yes,
The
sir.
Beekeeper and I got The Trust.
Yes.
What do you think?
I really like it because again, you try and kind of juxtapose the two different reviews, the positive and the negative. And you really try, and we've talked about this before. Just even one of the things that makes why we do this podcast, or some people hopefully like the same things we do, is
Yeah.
that the review of any first off, reviews are subjective, and it really
Mhm.
bothers me when people take reviews super serious. I'm not gonna say because it got a bad review.
Yeah.
I have there are movies. The best example of this is the movie Con Air. Con
Yeah.
Air, if you look at reviews of Con Air is panned. Con Air is considered one of the worst movies of whatever year it came out. I love
Oh, I'll stop whatever I'm doing to
Con
watch
Air.
Con Air.
And there's so many small things.
Yeah.
And again, just off on the side, I wanted our Garland Green sequel so bad. I want a Garland Green spinoff so bad. By the way, Brandon, I can't remember if I sent this to you, but there's a great, and this is one of the great bads of TikTok, is there's a fantastic fan theory that talks about
Yes.
that I sent it to you. Okay,
Yo,
they
I've seen
give
it.
you
I've seen it.
okay.
But yeah.
So yeah. So I'm just thinking like that makes me want Steve Buscemi as Garland Green so bad. And again, as a true Southerner, Nick Cage has that horrible Southern accent. Was just ridiculous. But no, Pandemic Reviewed is fantastic, folks. If you follow my buddy Brad, my tag team partner, my brother from another mother, on social media, especially TikTok, Pandemic Reviewed is fantastic, and we're always looking for suggestions of things to review. One of
Yes.
the things we've talked about before is even talking about maybe having us break a movie. Brian and
Yes.
Brad break the movie. As a fact, as much as we love things, we also understand some of the things we love are just filled with all kinds of ridiculous. This does not make sense logically if you pause for a minute. We
Yep.
thought about maybe throwing in some of the movies that we really love. Because you know what? Because again, as grown men, we can say this: you only hurt the things you really love the most.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
taking some of our favorite movies and breaking them down. But no, back to your point, Pandemic Reviewed is really, really good. And if there's things that you want us to take a look at, review,
Yeah.
break, or just go, hey, what do you guys think about this? We love to hear the comments. So,
Yep. And I'm sure
love
Brian
me
will
some
come on there
Pandemic
too. And
Reviewed.
it won't always be a solo thing. So
Oh yeah, we'll definitely. Hey, any chance we can chop it up, my friend? I'm with you.
100%. All right, dude. Let's go ahead and get into the wrestling recap.
All right, I'm gonna make this short but sweet. But my friend, before I get into this, Bradley, did you have a chance to watch much wrestling this week? Did you catch Raw and or SmackDown? I think
I
you may
watched
call
Raw,
Raw.
did not watch SmackDown.
Okay, and I can tell you, SmackDown basically based what happened on Raw led to. I don't know how I feel about it, other than saying a jaw-dropping episode of SmackDown. So
Yeah.
For fans that, and I'm Brad, I don't know if you caught this on the internet, but here's basically what happened. So in going up to WrestleMania, not only WrestleMania, but WrestleMania 40, a significant WrestleMania, the two main events that were planned were going to be for two world titles. You have the undisputed Universal Championship that was going to be Cody Rhodes challenging Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes finishing his story. For those that are wrestling fans that want to know the reference, why whenever we talk about Cody, about finishing his story, you can find out the details of it. It's worth a read. It actually is a very touching background.
Yeah.
And then for the world title, there's going to be a guy by the name of Seth Rollins defending against the cult of personality, Mr. One, the only, Mr. CM Punk, Chicago made. Unfortunately, CM Punk was injured during the Royal Rumble match, a legit injury where he's going to have surgery on a tricep. And I believe this is the same tricep tear or same tricep that was injured during his time in AEW that had him out for close to a year. So because of this, Punk is not going to be able to wrestle in WrestleMania 40, at least that's the way it appears. Now, Bradley, you and I were texting during this. If you watch Raw, he also didn't ever say he was. He said next year, then he got interrupted by Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre actually stomped. You're never sure how hard, but he stomped on the arm. Cody Rhodes wrestled a Hell in a Cell match with a very visibly torn pec. These men are bad, and women are badasses.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But that left in question what Cody Rhodes was going to do, because Cody Rhodes can pick whichever champion he was going to have. So the whole build of SmackDown this week, Brad, was that Cody was going to say who he was going to challenge. So we get to the end of SmackDown. Roman Reigns comes up. The tribal chief had my finger in the air. And Roman, if you're watching, it was this finger, sir. I'm a fan, so this finger. He did the whole deal. They were in Birmingham, acknowledged me, all the deals. Cody comes out. There's more than one Raw family in wrestling. He gives this great promo about why he would choose Roman over Seth, because Roman's title is the title that his dad wanted to win but never won. Like, forget the name changes. If you follow the lineage of it, the title his dad always wanted to win, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, hence Cody's called the American Nightmare, was the title that Roman holds. And right as he's getting ready to challenge Roman, he goes, but it won't be at WrestleMania. And you see this kind of quizzical look on Paul Heyman, this very kind of quizzical look on Roman Reigns. The entire bloodline is there. And then as Cody kind of looks down somberly, you hear this: if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah.
The Rock comes out. He and Cody have a handshake and a very long hug.
Yeah.
They talk a little
and a whisper.
bit, and a whisper, and you see Cody get out very emotional and walk towards the back. Then you have Roman and The Rock slowly inching, and for those of you that don't get the background, these are legit cousins.
Yeah.
Slowly inching their way to each other, and then it ends, and then at the end of it, they point out there's going to be a WrestleMania press conference on the 8th, which I believe is this Thursday, in which they will reveal kind of the WrestleMania plans. So, with that being said, Brad, we kind of have this potential. I want to get your thoughts just on the possible two main events. By the way, again, for fans that don't watch wrestling, WrestleMania is done over 2 nights. It's done on a Saturday and a Sunday. So I'm assuming there'll be the main event on Saturday. It'll be the world title held by Seth Rollins. The main event on Sunday will be the Universal title held by Roman Reigns. And again, they've not said anything. They've done all the lead up, but they've not said a thing. This is almost like an episode of Dragon Ball Z where you have like 12 episodes and nothing ever happens. You're waiting on them to actually fight.
Powering up.
Yeah.
We're powering up for WrestleMania.
Yes, I used to go, Vegeta just really needs some fiber in his diet. Like, come on, man. With that, if the main events, as they're hinting to, are going to be Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus The Rock, both of which are title matches. So Seth defending against Cody and Roman defending against The Rock. How do you feel about those as your main event? Knowing what we could have gotten, we probably aren't going to cause a Punk injury, so they got to pivot. I give them credit. They got to come up with something on the fly with only a couple months to get a plan.
Yeah.
So with that, what do you think about those being the potential main events?
I dig it. I honestly, I tell you what, like, I didn't care about the Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins until Seth came out on Raw. and that sold me.
Mhm.
That sold me on the match.
Okay.
Um,
Because he was serious, which he typically isn't.
yeah,
I mean, the whole deal with the maestro, I hate his gimmick gets over with a lot of people. It doesn't get over
yeah,
with me. I've like almost every other. I like the Architect. I like the Monday Night Messiah. This
yeah.
Joker thing he's kind of got going on doesn't work for me. All right.
That's fair. The Seth Rollins Joker.
Yeah.
That's really
It
fair.
feels like that's what he's going for. Almost like um the guy that played him in Suicide Squad, whose name is striking me. I
Jared
can't.
Leto.
Yeah, it sounds like he's
Yeah,
almost trying like a Jared Leto version of the Joker without the
yeah.
face paint, and I'm just like,
So did to sidetrack you just a little bit?
yeah.
So I was reading. There is now a setup in DC Comics
Hmm.
for the Joker
Okay.
to take over the Yellow Lantern Corps
Well,
and
okay.
call it the Joker Corpse.
While I like anything's going to make Joker front and center, wouldn't it make more sense if the land by the fact the yellow is based on fear? Wouldn't it make more sense that it was Scarecrow?
Maybe, but
But it's
yeah,
Joker, and I'm not going to hate anything with the Joker. Give
yeah.
the Joker
Joker
a
with a
power
power ring
ring?
though.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right.
By the way, okay, another tangent. Have you ever read Supreme Power?
Yes.
Okay. So did you ever do when they did the new version of it when they had Doc Spectrum, which is their version of the Green Lantern?
Mhm.
And there's one panel where they talk about so in DC you have Green Lantern has the power ring that basically with your will and your imagination it kind of make various constructs.
Yeah.
In Doc Spectrum, which is very similar, you have this gem that basically it kind of interprets. Well, there's one where they play with George W. Bush looking at a lab assistant through the gym, and there's a very specific panel of how the reality of how that lab assistant is both dressed and talks to the president is
Yeah.
very different based on some things with George Herbert Walker Bush. It's worth a revisit that panel. It cracks me up. But yes, sir. But that was my raw recap.
Okay.
I just want to give my 2 cents and we'll move forward.
Yes.
I again, with all deference, I trust Triple H. I mean, they're doing everything they can. You know, when a guy got hurt with not much time, and I'm sure if Punk can make it happen. I'm still not writing off Punk. Sure, because
I'm not either.
they just haven't said he's not going to be there. Like
Yeah.
they had him get interrupted. So there are a lot of fan theories that maybe we get a triple threat
Yeah.
with Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre and Seth, and still have Cody. I said this before. I would love to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I hate the idea of The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the title because it leaves us one of two
I don't
options.
think it will be. I think it's before the head of the table.
Okay, and that's if they do that, that would make
Yeah.
more sense because
Yeah.
for no other reason than this, there's no reason that The Rock needs to win the championship at this
Yeah.
point. He's going to be
He's
a
on the
part-time
board.
wrestler. They tried this with CM Punk a decade ago, and The Rock beat Punk to lead to him facing Cena. It was hated because people knew
Yeah.
what the match was going to be. And number two is no one wants to see Roman Reigns beat The Rock either. So
Yeah.
Rock versus Roman should be Rock going over, but Rock winning the title, he doesn't need it. And everybody knows he's on the freaking board of directors for the
Yeah.
company now, which is just also like, oh, really? Really, dude? You're booking yourself as a champ. So yeah,
Yeah.
head of the table, but then that leads to the idea of who then challenges. But I did see one thing, and I don't know if you saw this fan spoiler alert, because it's always been this thing of there's 2 world titles. You shouldn't have 2. You can, but you shouldn't have 2 world titles. I seen this as an option as well. Is Rock versus Roman head of the table? Well, not Rock versus Roman head of the table, but somehow if Roman is still champion and Cody beats Seth, SummerSlam, Cody versus Roman to unify the titles.
And isn't SummerSlam where Dusty fought for the
It was
belt?
it was at a house show at Madison Square Garden. I'm not sure where
Okay, that's
SummerSlam
right.
is at
Yeah.
this year.
Okay.
But that also, again, they had one title for a couple years. Then they split the titles. Now, again, it's kind of undoing something you did basically a year ago
Mhm.
at that point. But I think that would make sense. So anyway, that's my 2 cents of it.
Cool.
That's my real quick wrestling recap. I will say, even though I'm not super thrilled with it being a world title match, I hope it isn't. Seeing Rock come out there and Cody's emotions. And again, God love Paul Heyman. If I ever had to be mad as a wrestler, I want Paul Heyman.
Oh, of course.
Heyman just being like, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, sir. All right, let's get to it.
Yeah, let's go over some Flash fun facts.
All right, my friend. And I pulled a bunch of Flash fun facts because I
Mhm.
think you will love each and every one. So the first one I pulled is specific because it has to do with you and your favorite of all genres and areas, Star Wars.
Nice.
So, did you know, Brad, did you know
Mhm.
George Lucas's favorite comic reel, this is
Yeah,
before the movie, favorite comic reel growing up was Flash
Flash Gordon.
Gordon. And
Mhm.
he wanted to actually write a Flash Gordon movie.
Yeah,
But because the rights were tied up and already had a screenwriter, the movie that he wrote was Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
yeah,
So Flash Gordon can be considered the actual inspiration of us having those 9 and more Star Wars movies. So
yes.
Brad, since they didn't hire George Lucas wasn't brought on as screenwriter, do you know who was the screenwriter for Flash Gordon?
Not at the top. It wasn't Steven Spielberg, was
It
it?
was not. It's a and by the way, Flash Gordon, the country that Flash Gordon is most popular in, other than the United States, is Italy because there are several Italian directors and screenwriters
Mhm.
attached to Flash Gordon. So the screenwriter for Flash Gordon was Lorenzo Semple Jr. The reason
Nice.
that this is significant is not only because he did the job of letting Lucas writing New Hope, but Lorenzo Semple Jr. Most well-known credits before writing Flash Gordon is he wrote the original 4 episodes of Batman 66.
That's awesome.
The pilot and the subsequent 3 episodes of Batman 66 and the screenwriter for Flash Gordon are the same person.
And that makes perfect sense.
And
Yes.
they even said you think about the campiness of the
Yeah.
products.
Yeah.
And then lastly, but not leastly, RIP to Queen Elizabeth. Her favorite movie is Flash or was
Flash
Flash
Gordon.
Gordon.
That's wonderful.
Including it was required watching for the family during the holidays.
That's awesome. I haven't watched it in a while. I need to rewatch it.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
All
All
right,
right,
so
sir.
Brian, I
Yes, sir.
have 2 fan casts actually. So
Let's
I
do it.
have my fan cast, and then I
Okay.
actually went to Chat GPT and asked
Oh,
them who they think should be in a fan cast for Flash Gordon.
before you get
So
into it, the Chat GPT go, I can do that, Brad.
oh, it did. It was almost winked at me with glee. It was
See,
so happy.
see. Did you know that Will.i.am has a podcast that his
Yeah,
co-host is AI?
an AI. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
I was like,
interesting.
oh my god. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, hit it, sir.
All right. So my Flash Gordon
Hmm.
is Chris Pratt.
Fair,
He's funny. He's a little buff. He's
fair,
in everything,
fair,
So I mean, like you can't go wrong with him.
fair.
My Dale Arden
Yes,
is Zoe Saldana.
beautiful.
Oh
That's
yes.
dude. I'm loving your casting so far. Okay,
Now Ming the Merciless,
yes, sir.
Liam Neeson.
Time out. Time out. I changed my Ming the Merciless an hour before the podcast. Who it was gonna be initially was Liam Neeson. I'll share
We
during
not
mine
talked
who
about this.
mine was, but literally, so literally roughly around 5 p.m. today, I was reviewing my draft and go, you know what? I'm gonna change it from Liam Neeson. I swear to
That's cool.
whatever God is above us,
Yeah,
that until less than 2 hours ago, well, a little over 2 hours ago now,
yeah.
it was gonna be Liam Neeson. Go ahead, my friend.
Nice.
That is wonderful.
Awesome. So my Dr. Hans Zarkov,
Hmm.
Dolph Lundgren.
Of course. Number
Right?
one, Dolph Lundgren already is like he's a real scientist, right?
Right?
Right, and he could pull, and he's already got the accent, all the
Yeah.
things. Yes, I'm
And to see him in a role that he doesn't have to fight
right,
would
and
be
he
just
still
awesome.
could give you some Flash vibes with the
Yeah.
blonde hair and all the things. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
But we
Princess
have to at
Aura.
some point have to go Draga. All right, continue.
That would be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Princess Aura
Yes.
is Dua Lipa. And she
Until she
was
brings Elton John with her.
that'd be awesome. Gotta sneeze. Okay, excuse me. All right. Well, so and she's in Argyle. She's not in it a ton, but
Okay.
she's got it.
Okay.
She's gonna be in a lot more stuff coming up.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Prince Baron,
Yes, sir.
Austin Butler,
Good cast. Good cast.
and finally Prince Voltan,
Okay.
Jack Black.
Very cool. Now, again, there's still time. I recast 2. So I also recast Prince Voltan. It wasn't going to be Jack Black.
Yeah.
But similar, it was going to be Seth Rogen.
Nice.
But I kind of rethought my pitch a little bit. It was changed some characters around.
Yeah.
But I was thinking Seth Rogen. So I think we're kind of off on the side. I want that big, verbose. Like who? And by the way, because we're both big football fans in the Super Bowl. Also, let's be real. Who it should have been? Freaking Jason Kelsey.
Oh, dude. Yes.
He's already shirtless. Like, hey, Jason, you want to do it? Yeah. I think we can just pay him in beer.
Right? Oh man. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Pay him in
All
beer.
right.
All right, my friend.
Now, do you want to hear what Chat GPT says?
Absolutely,
okay.
Bro.
So Chat GPT does Chris Hemsworth as Flash.
Okay. Makes sense.
Dale Arden, Zendaya.
Like it.
Right? Ming the Merciless, Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. Love it.
Right? I
Love
know.
it.
Dr. Hans Zarkov.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Prince Baron.
Okay.
John Boyega.
Like it. By the way, if Mark Strong's coming, are we gonna do the crooked tooth that he had or no? Okay, all right.
He's got to have his crooked tooth.
Gotta have the tooth. Gotta have the tooth.
Gotta have the tooth. Princess Aura.
Yes, sir.
Florence Pugh.
Ooh.
Right? That's good.
Like that.
Voltan, leader of the Hawkmen.
Yes.
Idris Elba.
Please give me Idris Elba as Voltan. But you know what? But just because I'm a hater, have him keep his shirt on. Just because I'm a hater.
It's like the new Aquaman movie where Jason Momoa doesn't take his shirt off.
Yeah. Let's be real. Aquaman, people just want to see Jason Momoa wet and shirtless. Which, hey, if I had it, same deal. I feel it.
Correct.
Right. No hate, no shade. All right.
And last one is General Clytus.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård. So
I will share this in mind. The Skarsgårds do make a showing.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Leia's making another attempt before you get going. All right. You want to say something, Leia?
Well, I have 2 things.
You want to say 2 things? Okay. Leia will say 2 things.
I don't want to say 2 things. One of them's for you.
One of them's for me. Okay.
Let's hit it.
Well, I wanted to say hi first. And
hi.
I still have my headphones on.
All right. Brian says hi.
Can you do this?
Do what?
Push it up.
Push it real good.
Oh, here you go. There you go. Okay. All right, Brian.
You got a cold when they can laugh/cough at the same time.
Yep, and I think I just got my next week's cough. Cool.
Oh, gee.
It's okay.
Fun for
Brian.
You. Yes, sir.
What do you have for your pitch in your fan cast?
All right. So I'm going to pitch my idea before revealing my cast. Because I said last week, what I really wanted to do was beyond simply giving the cast, which I love the cast that you and Jack and AI did, but I also thought, what would be the story? Because I want to integrate this into the MCU.
Yes.
So while I am making the movie Flash, you're going to catch a couple differences. So are you ready, my friend?
Yes.
So here's the basic plot.
Okay.
Grief-stricken over the death of Jane Foster and the disappearance of Thor, Eric Selvig attempts to contact the Guardians of the Galaxy for help. But instead of contacting the Guardians, he intercepts a communication from Ming the Merciless. Ming, a former protege of Thanos, feels that the Earth is open for conquering because it is a world without the Avengers. Selvig, using the remnants of the transwarp drive from Captain Marvel, along with Kat Dennings and her new intern, Eugene Flash Thompson, travel to Ming's homeworld to stop his evil plan and save the planet Earth. So instead of having Flash Gordon, we're just going to call it Flash Thompson. And the cast will be Eugene Flash Thompson from the Spider-Man's trio we've gotten. So instead of Flash Gordon, we use Flash Thompson. Instead of Dale Arden, we're going to use Darcy Lewis, who's going to be Kat Dennings. Instead of the scientist, we're going to use Stellan Skarsgård and his role as Eric Selvig. And then the two additional individuals I asked were Ming the Merciless will be done by Dr. Ken Jeong from the Hangover movies.
Okay, I like it.
And Prince Voltan, leader of the Birdmen or the Hawkmen. First it was Seth Rogen, but I had to make it our boy. In his first MCU major role, Bruce Campbell. Can you see it?
I can see it.
I would even have, with all the other Hawkmen, Birdmen are buff, young, looking like 300.
Yeah.
We'd have a running bit that he's the only Birdman that's wearing a shirt because he's got to wear a girdle to keep his stuff tight. All right, and so that will be it. So instead of making Flash Gordon, we're just gonna call the movie Flash, not The Flash. We'll let DC have that, but we're gonna call it Flash, and doing again Flash Thompson, especially because I love the actor. His name is Tony Revolori, which I may have mispronounced his last name. He was so great in the spinoff of oh my goodness, I just had a mind fart, sir. Too much wine tonight. The Val Kilmer film. He died, so he wasn't there to be in the new one. It was on Disney Plus. Oh geez, Louise. We watched it. Has Warwick Dawes in it. Legend.
Oh, Willow.
Thank you.
Willow, yeah, Willow.
I don't know where Legend.
Yeah.
Not Tom Cruise, the other guy from Top Gun.
Right.
But yeah, he was great in that. He was great in Willow.
Yeah.
So I think we give him a chance to kind of play with that. I always want more Kat Dennings. That sounded really creepy because it was meant to be. But really, I really think at the offshoot of Thor: Love and Thunder, we we only got bit parts of both. The Kat Dennings character and the Stellan Skarsgård character, switching them franchises where they could actually take the lead with that and see him maybe a very unlikely hero, this petulant kid who no one really likes, and kind of forcing him to be a reluctant hero in the world sans the Avengers, I think would be a good pitch. So that's my pitch on Flash.
One thing I want to add to that.
Yes, sir.
Is Flash at some point gets Venom to become Agent Venom.
I like that.
Because do you know who Venom's supposed perfect symbiosis is with?
It would be Flash, right?
It's Flash.
Yes. It would make sense. Cocky, arrogant, really good shape, somewhat broken in antisocial. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Awesome. All right. I dig it, man. I dig it. That was really good. All right. Let's go ahead and give me your honest ad.
Well, every week I do the honest ads. I kind of look for some inspiration. Sometimes it's based on the season, a holiday, kind of what's going on in the world. So as we're talking about Flash Gordon, so much of I thought about my memories of Flash, and it was one of my favorite movies going on, one me and my dad watched a lot. And really quickly, the way that Flash Gordon, the first time I actually saw it, was actually my dad brought it home from the video store. So I thought about You know what? Because the video store is my very first job. And Brad, the fans of you and I are movies, all those things. In a world now where you can stream pretty much any movie you can think of within 5 minutes, have it less than 1 minute, honestly, have it ready to go on your phone, on your smart TV, on your tablet, on whatever device. Not getting the actual joy and the anticipation of this is me playing the old man card, what the video store used to really mean. So this week, my honest ad is the video store. Come all creatures, great and small, to the greatest store of them all, full of entertainment for young and old. Discover films of all flavors, from hot to cold. You will laugh, cry, become terrified, and even learn a new surprise is around every turn. Black and white, Technicolor, animated and silent, satisfy all urges from peaceful to violent. New releases, classics, gems that are unknown. You never know what your TV VCR combo will be shown. Now, the back room of those movies are for adults who hope their kids will never find. But remember the most important rule of all. Please be kind and rewind.
Well done,
My honest ad
Brian.
for the video store. And Brad, real quick, have I ever told you, I've mentioned before many times on the podcast, my first job was working at a local video store.
Mhm.
But I can tell you one of the greatest professionally, and I've been lucky to have some really cool jobs in my day, but there's nothing that will even come close to this moment of my very first job working in a video store. So, Brad, I don't know about your high school, but in my high school, the disciplinarian was the vice principal.
Yes.
And our VP was a bit of a jerk. And so my first job, again, was working in a video store. And I basically had two jobs. One was I would restock all the inventory except for that back room, back room, which basically were the things that they had hid under the bed. And it was my job. For those of you who don't get the reference, before videos were streamed, before they were on DVDs, they were on VHS tape. Well, there was also Betamax too, and I ain't gonna go into all that. But they're on basically big cassettes you had to rewind. And if you didn't rewind the cassettes, my job was I would rewind them for you, but I also got to give you a penalty because again that B-Wine. There's even a movie they called that B-Wine Rewind. Be kind rewind.
Yeah,
that was a thing because you had to rewind the tapes. So the vice principal of my high school brings in some movies, and he had rented 3 movies, and he did not rewind any of the movies. So I got to not only rewind them, we had like the super fast rewinds that only took like a minute. And the reason we didn't rewind their tapes because basically if you rewind in your VCR, it would take it like 5 minutes. And so people just get bored and just not do it. So I got to levy him a $2 penalty for every movie he did not rewind. He had brought in 3 movies. I got to charge him $6 on his tape. And this is before mic drop was a thing. I promise you, my tag team partner, once I put 6.00 on his account, I slid back from my chair and did booyah. Like that was the greatest moment at 16 years old. And again, in this point, I'm not gonna say how old I was, but at this moment, $6 was real money. On $6, you could get half a tank of gas. Okay, so talk about that one, right? When I gas early, it was like $2.40 or something a gallon. $6 would really get you a half a tank of gas in a vehicle. For me to charge him for that, I felt to say I walked around my house that night with so much swagger. The only thing would have made it better because it was during the summer. Had it been during the school year, I seriously may have gotten kicked out. I would have walked up in the room and like, $6, bitch! Like I would have just I would have been out of control.
Man, telling all the people, the
Yes, yeah.
VP
Who
don't.
did it?
Yeah,
Who did it? Holla at your boy.
yeah. The
I
VP,
would have walked around with a little button that had $6 on it. Like
right.
that would have been me. So I'm glad it happened during the summer. I
Every
had to
time you
calm
see him,
down.
you're like, "Be kind,
Yeah,
rewind."
rewind. Yeah, yeah. Are
Yeah,
you feeling kind today? You
that's
feeling
right.
kind today? Yeah. So anyway, that was my inspiration. So again, he probably has passed away. I don't know. My guess is he may have passed away. By the way, sir, hopefully wherever you are, you're doing well. If you've left this earth, wherever you are now, hope you're doing well. But
Yeah.
again, be kind, rewind, and what made the new tagline of the Revenge is $6. Yes, sir.
$6 beat. All right, so we have a game to play.
Let's play that game.
Here's the rules. So this is guess the movie by the cast.
Okay.
All right, the movie is in the 2000s.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to omit the top 2 build cast members.
Okay.
All right, you'll get one guess for every cast member that I say.
Okay. Do you give me information? Just to clarify, do you give me any information about it beyond the cast members?
No, but I
this is
will
gonna
allow
be
you
fun.
3 questions. I'll allow you
Okay.
3 questions.
All right. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right. You just want to go?
So just to clarify the rules. So with every cast, okay, so I have 3 questions I can ask, I'm assuming at any time.
Yeah.
The clarifying questions.
Yep.
But then I get one guess per cast member, correct?
Yes.
And
yes.
do I know how many cast members are you gonna give me if I go through all
10.
of them? 10 cast members.
Cast
okay.
members.
And you
So you got
admit
10
and you
chances.
admit the name, and did you say
I will not tell you the characters that they play.
okay, just the name of the cast. So
right. So you're gonna have to put it all together as
Pedro
the characters.
Pascal's then you go Pedro Pascal. Got it.
Right.
Okay. And you don't share plot or anything as well.
No
correct?
plot, no none of that.
Oh,
okay.
this could be good. I'm thinking about some folks have real. If you just go Harrison Ford, I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So number 1.
Yes, sir.
Carl Weathers.
You know I gotta go Rocky.
Okay.
I get it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Number 2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Annie Potts. So Carl Weathers.
Oh, Ghostbusters.
And Annie Potts.
Ghostbusters.
No.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Is it in the Ghostbusters series?
No.
Okay, so that's my first question. Okay.
First question.
All right.
You want me to go on to number 3?
Please.
Don Rickles. So Carl Weathers, Annie Potts, Don Rickles.
Wait, Don Rickles?
Don Rickles.
Annie Potts, Carl Weathers,
and
Don flipping Rickles?
Yeah.
And it's a movie.
It's a movie. And I'm sure you've probably seen it.
Wait.
Oh, so by the way, it's a movie. Was that question number 2?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was question 2.
No,
right.
it's a movie.
Fine,
That's
fine.
not a question.
Shoot. I'll just throw it out there.
No, you're good. You're good. You said that. We're only one question.
Oh, Carl Weathers. My head went to Ernie Hudson. Jesus. Oh my God. Okay, Action Jackson.
No. All right.
By the way, I'm so sorry, Ernie Hudson, that I said Carl Weathers, and wow, I almost said that didn't happen. Okay, so we got so. By the way, 2 questions down.
We'll give you one question. The other one, I mean, because we verified that it's a movie.
Okay, all right.
So.
But either way, but we got Carl Weathers, Don Rickles. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with Don Rickles. I mean, say I have. I believe you.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers, Don Rickles, and Annie Potts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want another question?
No, I want another clue.
Okay. John Ratzenberger.
Oh my God.
John Ratzenberger.
Okay.
Don Rickles.
Yeah.
Potts, and Carl Weathers.
All right. Toy Story.
No.
Okay. Last question. It's in the Toy Story pantheon.
Yes.
Ah, trying to think because I remember who he played. Is he? Wait. Toy Story.
Well, so let's keep going. Then maybe
Okay.
that'll
All
help.
right.
Wallace Shawn.
Is it Toy Story 4?
It is Toy Story
Okay.
4.
Okay, I
You
was trying
got
to
it in
remember
1,
when that
2, 3,
character came
4,
into.
5.
I was trying to remember when that character came into Toy Story, and the Wallace Shawn helped me. All right, that
Yes.
was
The
that
next
was
one was
good. That was
Bonnie
okay.
Hunt,
Yeah. That
Joan
was really good.
Cusack,
That was really
Keegan
good.
Michael Key,
Yes,
Jordan Peele,
that was
and then the
fun.
final one was gonna be Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you.
That was really fun. Okay, I'm gonna prep one for those for you. By the way, for those that are fans of the show, we won't be because we typically we simply record, excuse me, on Sunday. We all know next Sunday. If you don't know, next Sunday has a kind of a big football game.
Yeah.
So we very well may record next week. It's not next Sunday, but next time we record, sir. And I think you said you may have more than one of those for me, but I'm definitely doing this game with you back. This is fun. All right.
Yeah, I love this game. So we'll keep doing this one. So all right. Well, Brian, what should we talk about next week?
Well, the next time we record, I think we should number one play this game some more, which is really fun. I do well with different. I'm trying to think. So next week by the calendar would be the 11th. So we've got the big game. So upcoming, I think we haven't done a list in a while. And
Okay.
this is we haven't done in a while. I think we all talk about our movies that were our favorites. What are our favorite with Valentine's Day around the corner? What do you think? Either our favorite kind of the movies that give us like our romantic feelings or favorite date movies? What do you think? I think we should play with that idea a little bit.
Okay. Let's do favorite date movies. That
Gotcha.
could be interesting.
All right. We'll do our top 5. I already kind of know my number 1 is.
All right.
That's very cool. No, but Brad, seriously, that game is fantastic.
Thank you. All right, Brian, who's your human of the week?
Well, we've talked about him a little bit, but we got to go ahead and give it. I put it on my Facebook page. So, by the way, for anyone that isn't in, we always talk about how to find us. So every February, as we know, or hopefully you all know, is Black History Month. We get a whopping 29 days this year. So on my Facebook page, every day I try and make it somewhat humorous, recognizing someone or something or some event or something related to Black History Month. So my post yesterday had to do with my Better Than Us Human of the Week, which is one Carl Weathers. You heard Brad mention him both in my intro, saying that I'm his unverified twin due to the mustache. You heard him mention him when talking about Toy Story 4. We've made references to his role as Action Jackson. Most people know him as Apollo Creed during Rockies 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so my Better Team in the Week, because sadly we did lose the Mandalorian. Sadly, we did lose Carl Weathers on the 1st of February, which would have been this past Thursday. So just someone that I was a huge fan. I joked on Facebook, called him my real daddy. But Carl Weathers just was one heck of an actor. And really, his career changed with the times. And I just want to give him so much credence and just the joy he gave us all. So my Better Human of the Week is Gone Too Soon, R.I.P. to one Carl Weathers.
100%. He was mine too. Yeah, there was no thinking about that. So
Right.
Brian.
Yes, sir.
What should I fandemically review coming up? Got any ideas for me?
Are you thinking? Well, let me ask you this: Are you want to stick to movies or want to kind of stretch outside that a little bit?
I'm even gonna do restaurants. I'm gonna do restaurants even.
Well, if you restaurant, no, we gotta get Applebee's date again, my friend. We haven't gone to Applebee's.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
But with that being said, Fandemically Review, I would say, you know what? Fandemically Review, one of the movies that we often talk about, Fandemically Review Spaceballs.
That can definitely happen. I need to rewatch.
Any excuse to rewatch. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Is rewatch Spaceballs. By the way, we talked about all the cool things. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but for those that have the Max app, and this is great for their relationship with DC, Brad, on the Max app, you can binge the entire series, Static Shock.
I saw that. I saw
Yes.
it,
Yes.
and I
The Dakota verse
didn't
is
watch it
so
yet.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yes. I
I'm
haven't
gonna.
either, but Static Shock, and they introduced Static a bit during the later season of Young Justice. But
Mm.
Static Shock, for a lot of reasons, is a great show. So yes, I'm definitely gonna binge me some Static Shock here.
And did you watch the Johnny Cage movie?
No, Cage, I think what it's called. I have
Caged,
not. Yeah,
uncaged or whatever.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
all those kind of one shots with Mortal Kombat, I haven't gotten into because
yeah.
I think they'll either be really good or really bad. So I kind of
It's
like,
Joel McHale, so I mean, like that's
as
pretty
Johnny
cool.
Cage.
Yeah,
That's all you had to say. That's at least worth a watch to hear him do Cage.
right,
So that could be
right.
that even if it's bad, it's Joel McHale bad, which won't be that bad. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So awesome. All right, man. Well, where can we find you?
As I said before, you can find me on the Book of Faces, Brian Stephen Dennis. Give me a like, give me a follow again for the month of February. I always makes a post daily regarding Black History Month, so those will continue. We are into day 4. So far, if anyone's curious, I started off with Belle Biv DeVoe because they gave us the incredible words of guidance. Never trust a book, never trust a big button, a smile. We talked about Mufasa, and namely James Earl Jones, and in the movies that he has sired Bradley,
Yes.
both Prince Hakeem of Zamunda, Simba of Pride Rock, and his light-skinned child Luke Skywalker. And then today again, I gave Carl Weathers some love. So I will continue those throughout the month of February, and we have to get an extra day because of leap year, my friend. So give me a
Yes.
like, give me a follow, try and keep it light and funny and sometimes weird. What about you, brother?
All right. Well, you can tweet at me at Fandemic3, message me on Facebook, check out my TikTok. It's most of the time pretty fun. And so, if you want to support the show, there are several ways you can do so. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thefandemic. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTN Fandemic. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-veg producer like Stacy, or yes, you could be part of the con at starting at $5 a month. If you just want to give me money, I won't say no. Go to PayPal at Bradley Butin, or just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome.
You don't even have to consider him your pal. Just pay him.
Yeah, you can just pay. I'm good at that. Yeah. So, Brian, I think we are at max levels of awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right. What are your words of wisdom?
My words of wisdom every week is thank you, ladies and gentlemen, being good boys and good girls, joining us on the Fandemic podcast. This is the best part of mine, Bradley's week. Hopefully, it's a great part of yours. And with that being said, please remember these words of wisdom. Number 1, never give up, never surrender. Number 2, Goonies, never say die.
If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. Squirrels' cheeks are also their nutsacks. And you go through life finding people to attend your funeral. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.